Hello YouTube, my name is Ep.3 and welcome back to another Can They Be DLC, episode 3 of season 3. Last episode we talked about Tracer, and this episode we're going to be looking over another female character in Fiora from Xenoblade Chronicles. But before, let's get on to the news, which didn't really have much. We only have, well, we do have some news. The Switch Lite and the Link's Awakening have launched. I don't have a Lite, but I do have Link's Awakening and I've been playing it. It's actually a really effing good game. If you want to see me walk around and play like an idiot, which is really a sad indictment of my gaming capabilities, go check it out in the Let's Play that we're doing right now. And that's about it basically when it comes to news. Well, not really. There was another big news that hit the Nintendo world, which was the reveal of Sir Fetched in for Sword and Shield. He looks brilliant. He's a Shield exclusive. I'm guessing we're gonna get, or no, he's a Sword exclusive. I'm guessing we're getting the Shield exclusive this week. The reveal, maybe, I don't know. Sir Fetched is a fighting type, and he looks great, phenomenal, outstanding. He honestly one of my favorite designs ever. Just saying, one of the best designs out there. Great evolution for Farfetch'd. The Pokemon deserved it. It's been 20 years for him without an evolution, I believe. Right now, outside of Legendaries, I don't think we have a Pokemon from Generation 1 that's a part of the single Mondex, aka the Pokemon that only have one form, that hasn't gotten some form of a variant. You know, like Mega Evolution for Kangaskhan. I think Aerodactyl also has. I was gonna say Aerodactyl. I think it's only Mew and Mewtwo and Ditto, and like you can't do much with Ditto. He's already every Pokemon. Mew and Mewtwo, legendary Pokemon. They won't be getting evolutions, and Mewtwo already had Megas, so you know, we'll leave it at that. And what else? There was something else that happened. Oh yeah, it wasn't newsworthy. It's not really It's not really that good for speculation. But I believe a former voice actor for Lloyd Irwin from the Tales of series posted on Twitter that he was doing, or that he had signed an NDA and he did a project recently that he enjoyed. And some people and some websites even reported that maybe that's a hint for the next Smash character, which I don't think so, mostly because the guy's not the most recent one from my understanding. I also believe that this guy is also a union actor, so he's a part of a union, and I don't believe in the way that unions work he can be a part of Super Smash Brothers, because from everything that I've known is that if you are part of a union and you're part of a game, that game has to be entirely unionized. If somebody is in the game that's not a part of a union, or your union, I don't know how exactly it works, you cannot be a part of it, or the game can, I don't know, it's really weird. And Nintendo does mostly non-union games, and no matter what, a Nintendo game like Smash Bros, Smash Bros in particular, would have to have a non-union cast. If the rules are, if you're a part, you have to be a part of, the game has to be either with unions or no union at all, because of Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario, Luigi, Wario, and I think that's it in the Mario cast. Because he's non-union, the entire game must be cannot use a union. Same thing with I think the fact that Sakurai is also voices one of the characters, and well, technically speaking, we have characters voiced by developers. I don't think the game could be. And how many times did I see union in there? I don't even want to count, but I probably will. Now that I said it, I will, because I have to. But anyway, let's move on to the possibility of Fiora in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Can she be DLC? I think so. With Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition right around the corner, she could be in. In the context of Smash, spoilers don't matter, because she already is a part of Shulk's final Smash in her, you know, other form, and she was already part of Smash 4, also in her other form in terms of a trophy, and she also has a spirit, I think, in her special form. Let's go with other form. Is that she the one thing actually that could coincidentally put her out of the running for Smash would be the final Smash, being part of Smash. But we have to remember, we live in a world where Chrom is a character, a Mii costume, has a fighter spirit, and he's also part of Robin's final Smash and Robin's victory screen. So it's not unthinkable that we'll be getting a character like Fiora into the game, especially if it is to, you know, give us a definitive edition marketing. Not only that, I think that this Fighters Pack is going to work, and I'm actually planning on doing a video on it. I don't think this Fighters Pack is going to... the next wave of DLC will be a little bit like the Fighters Pack, but there's something else I think it's going to do. They could do a Fighters Pack 2, but I think that we're going to get things outside of that Fighters Pack. I think they're going to be doing packs of things. I think there's going to be a Minecraft pack that would include a Minecraft stage, a Minecraft skin, and maybe an assist trophy. That's the thing that kind of annoys me about DLC. We never get assist trophies. We only get the character, their stage and music, and that's it. And also a Minecraft music selection. Because I think there's franchises that would be better represented with other things outside of a character, and Minecraft is one of them, but we're not here to talk about Minecraft. Until I talk about Fiora and the possibility, and I think like outside of a Fighters Pack, because I hope that DLC is not again just third party, because I hear a lot of people say like, oh, third parties, they bring the hype, yay, they're the big headliners and all that stuff. And then you have Terry, which sure, SNK was big in the 90s, but the 90s were almost 30 years ago. 1991 was over 30 years ago. And I'm not doing this as a... Oh no, 1991 was close to 30 years ago, not over 30 years ago. What the hell am I talking about? Technically speaking, the 90s overall would have not been over 30 years ago, but the beginning of the 90s is closer to 30 than the 20s. Technically speaking, 1990 was 29 years ago. So, you know... Not only that, the landscape of gaming changed a lot from then. And sure, they were big then, they're not really that big now. That's the main thing you have to remember. And if it's the headlining grabs, Terry in the 90s, and the Smash was as big then as it is now, let's put it that way. Let's put the way Smash works now into the 90s, and how people view Smash, how they view now in the 90s. Terry probably would have been massive, even the early 2000s. But now it's not, I would not put him in the same wavelength as the other third parties, and even some Nintendo first parties. Same way that like 10 years ago Professor Layton was one of the biggest things out there in terms of the Nintendo space. Nowadays anything level 5 practically is dead. So I hope that even if like they're the headliners and cashing, I mean, we probably could have, Nintendo could have probably made as much money with any first party character that isn't in Smash already getting a slot in Smash than with Terry, because especially when you're character 4 and you already sold the pack, the side of the Fighters Pack at that point in time, whenever 4 was, and 5, and even 3 technically speaking, were already afterthoughts, of like, you already bought, like most people would not be like, oh, I'm buying the Fighters Pack. The vast majority of people that probably bought the Fighters Pack were like, I just want the characters. I'm not saying that Terry is bad, I'm not at all saying that. I'm just saying in terms of grand context, he is the smallest character of the Fighters Pack, and one that I don't see as being that much more elevated than the vast majority of characters from Nintendo that could be into Smash Bros. That would be massive hits or like bringers of hype. But as I was saying, even if we do have a Fighters Pack that's just third parties, I think Nintendo's still going to be doing packs outside of it, because they know packs sell. Like I said, Minecraft would be one, and Xenoblade would be another. I think that in the Xenoblade pack, which could be for like 10 to 12 to 15 euros or dollars or whatever have you, we could have Fiora come in alongside Rex and whomever Blade Sakurai decides to do, Malos as a Shulk Echo, maybe a stage, maybe some music, maybe remixes from both games, maybe some rips from both games that we haven't had yet. I could see Elma take this spot as well, but I think that Elma is a character that will get her day in the sun. She'll get into Smash Bros. Eventually, whenever Xenoblade Chronicles 2 happens, Xenoblade Chronicles X2 happens, I should say. If there isn't an X2, then we were all played for fools by the, you know, Xenoblade, by Monolith, because Xenoblade Chronicles X ends in a huge cliffhanger. The game in and of itself, I'm gonna say this, I like Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'll say that it's the weakest of the Xenoblades in my opinion. Has the weakest story and also has the weakest ending, and by far in my opinion the weakest combat. It's exploration, it beats the other two in a landslide, but in my opinion the other two things loses very much. It's a very big win for the other two when it comes to story and gameplay, but that's not the point I'm trying to make here. I'm making is at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles X, not X, where was I? At the end of the day, at the end of X, there's a huge cliffhanger, so if there isn't a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or Xenoblade Chronicles X2 in the horizon, be it for Switch, Switch 2, Switch Pro, Mini, Falcon, Pro, Super, New, I don't care, there has to be one. If there isn't, take move on creating a game with a huge cliffhanger that you're never ever going to resolve. Monolith. It's not like you've... Oh well, technically speaking, the other times they did it was because of Namco, but still, it's kind of a prick move to do to your fan base. And and obviously expecting a pack like that would be expecting a lot, and I will admit that. The thing is, again, I've said this in my DLC post Fighters Pack predictions, is that look at the turnaround between Banjo, between the hero Banjo and Terry. It's a massive one. A shorter one, but a massive one. Like the shortest amount of times we've seen. So with that, we end this part and we go into the comments. We only have one comment this week to look at, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah. And before that, I'm gonna have to pause it, so see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so after a small interruption, we are in fact back, and we're gonna be talking, or not talking, gonna be going English sometimes is hard. Well, a lot of the times. No, sometimes. Still, we're going into the comment section, which was only one comment last episode, funnily enough. We got more comments from the DLC predictions that came out the Wednesday before. No, the Wednesday, a week before that. Was it, or was it that Wednesday? Anyway, it's very hard to remember. And I think it was that week, but before Can They Be DLC from Tracer, and the comment comes from Terry Servenson. There is no confirmed age for Shantae. The person who said that Shantae was 16 was not an employee at WayForward. The person was just an intern who was let go after the person said that. At least that's what I heard. Okay, because I do remember seeing that on Twitter, and I always felt it was a little bit awkward the way they put Shantae in that game and the things that she does in that game, and being a 16-year-old. So at least it could have something. And 4Kids no longer exists, and the Pokemon Company International is now dubbing the Pokemon anime. See, that I did not know. I didn't know that 4Kids had perished. I did not know. Maybe I forgot last episode because of all my unyielding rage during the Sora comments, which again, nothing against Sora the character, or even some fans of the character, but the overall fan base, much like the Waluigi one, and for a while, and the Sans one until recently, and the Ridley one, kind of deserve when they get shitted on. But then again, the other side also deserves to be shitted on whenever they get they get overwhelmingly annoying. But anyway, moving forward, passing that, there was a Kingdom Hearts game on the GBA, 2 on DS and 1 on 3DS. I think I know where the sentence is coming from. Last week during my wielding rage part about Sora and like why I don't think Sora will be in, I mentioned no Kingdom games Kingdom games on Nintendo systems. I probably said Nintendo systems instead of Nintendo Switch, because that's the thing, Switch still hasn't received anything Disney. Like, we got the Tsum Tsum collection, but the Disney Afternoon collection, Kingdom Hearts, we're getting one Star Wars game that is from the 90s. We're not getting, I can understand not getting Battlefront of the massive massive DICE game from EA, who are really good and competent at doing their games, Disney, but whatever. But like, we still haven't gotten anything, and it's been 2.5 years. We're getting to the point where games are announced not coming to the Switch. Tales of Arise, and people say that, oh no, they began development before the Switch was a thing or out, and it's like, Game began development in late 2016. It's 2019 and they still haven't been able to make the version for the Switch. Just say that they don't want to instead of making these dumb excuses for it. But still, yeah, probably misspoke there. And still, we still haven't gotten anything. Maybe we'll get it at the Game Awards. I still doubt it, or the next year's Nintendo Direct. I still doubt it. And then I could see Tracer. Yeah, I agree that Waluigi will not be a DLC fighter. I think most people already know he isn't going to be in. But the fan base is crazy. They're insane. And you give them a slight shred of hope and they will cling on to it until the cows come home and it's proven that they were wrong, and then they're going to harass Sakurai. And honestly, I'm going to be completely honest, like I said earlier in the video, there's franchises that don't need a playable character to be well represented in Smash. I think Waluigi's representation in Smash is perfect now. It's like, yeah, everybody is in it on it now from the Mario universe, the main big characters, except for him. But then again, he is a loser. He's a lovable loser, but he's still a loser. And not getting the invitation reflects the character far better than a playable character. But say that to Waluigi fans, and they are crazy. It's like Sans. As a character, makes no sense. As a Mii costume, makes sense. The character doesn't want to fight you, and unless I'm mistaken, you don't fight Sans any other time in Undertale unless you're doing the Genocide run, which means you only fight him once, technically speaking, in only one type of playthrough, and he's a very lazy character that really doesn't like to do anything. At least that's what I've been told. And you get him perfect in Smash. It's like, yeah, he's a costume. Of course he's a costume. He's lazy, he wouldn't go to the Smash, but that still doesn't make that Sans the characters in Smash, just the costume of it. That's beside the point. Then I could see Tracer getting in as a Mii costume, but she could be possibly DLC fighter unless Crash gets in. I completely agree. In regards to Fiora, I could see her getting in as a Mii costume. I do see her as a Mii costume, but at the same time, the way Fiora plays is not like Dunban, where Dunban makes sense that he only has one. It makes sense for the Mii Sword Fighter. Fiora kind of dual wields, so I don't think she would be good as a Mii fighter. Maybe like early game Fiora could be, not later game Fiora, because at this point it's a spoiler regarding the beginning of the game, and but there's still some spoilers regarding that. There are some things regarding that have not been spoiled yet. And you could say that I'm technically speaking spoiled by talking about it, but this is a Smash Bros. Discussion. I mean, the Nintendo Direct where they revealed everyone's here, when they talked about Shulk, they legitimately showed Shulk Final Smash with Fiora in her special form. We've seen that form in the trophy. If you played Smash Tour at all, you were spoiled because of it. The entire Xenoblade Chronicles trophy showcase was also something that was showing spoilers. So, it's not like Sakurai cares about spoilers. That and Mother 3 was completely spoiled in Smash Brawl, so I don't know. So I'm being careful to do it, but Sakurai clearly doesn't. And I think with Definitive Edition, we could be getting, hopefully we get my idea, and it's the pack, and we get Rex, Mallows, and Fiora, but we could also be the pack happening, and it's Fiora as a Mii costume. But hey, I don't know. Anyway, that's been the rumblings of one crazy idiot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been MajorDS, and join me again next time as we go in over Astral Chain, the brandest, newest IP from Nintendo and Platinum Games. So I'll see you guys next time.